Welcome back to IEM Gyeonggi. I'm swimming back in. My name is Pulse and I'm with Deficio for our losers bracket game. Will be a best of 3 between Dark Passage and Liquid now, and we'll be getting into that game very shortly. Apologies for the delay if you are joining us once again, but we had to start at the scheduled time of 3 p.m. local time. So now we're back. Hey!
Yay, we're back. We are, and interesting match now. We just saw obviously Giants lose, sadly,
We
for
did,
Europe.
yes, but they're not out.
Not out just yet, but they did lose, obviously, to Congo Monsters, so they will face the winner of this BO3 as the next one. Today we're going to finish the whole thing. Dark Passage versus Liquid.
Similar team. I can see how you can make the mistake.
NA, you know, Immortal for Dark Passage, Immortals. There's some things there.
There's the connection.
I think Liquid comes in as the heavy favorite, just like based on like talent on the roster, and also Dark Passage in the first game today, a few hours ago by now, got stomped. Like got super stomped by Congo Monsters. It wasn't even close. So I think, looking at that, I think Dark Passage might be looking to try and prove themselves, but it will be difficult to win a BO3.
It will be. We have some housekeeping to do though, because we have just kick-started the stream once more. So, of course, we are here at IEM Gyeonggi. We have the League of Legends tournament, we have StarCraft, we have Overwatch. Overwatch, I believe, is starting tomorrow. And we will be moving to the Goyang Sports Complex tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because the group stages were being held here, and we're moving.
Group B, the one we've been playing today. As you can see, Congo Monster sitting as the winners with the yellow text. Giants Gaming have moved down in the little box underneath. Now waiting for the winner of this one, and obviously
You don't do these very often, do you?
I mean, come on, what is there to say?
We're talking about Congo Monster. Did very well earlier today. They looked honestly way more impressive than I was expecting them to be. Papa Smith was singing their praises after being a team that really didn't have many expectations. Changing their
You don't do
lineup.
that very often, do you, boss? I think we should instead talk about this schedule for today, as we just talked about.
Yeah, we have a
simple.
losers match. Very simple. We've played all these games out so far. We only have best of 3s remaining on the day. It will be Dark Passage and Liquid in the losers match. And then the winners will go to the decider match. And the winner of that will go on to the semi-finals. So Giants not down and out if you are a Giants and EU fan. So still a chance for us to make the semis.
Yeah, I mean, Europe is waking up now. It is 7 in the morning in Europe.
Let's
at
be
the
honest,
moment.
Defish. There's no
So
gamer in EU who's
There's
waking up at 7 and like,
true.
you know what I want to do? I'm going to switch
That's
on the
true.
IEM
Well,
stream and
They're
get
still
here,
awake.
so.
That's the problem. They're still awake. So they're
that's
ready
true.
to watch Giants later.
Alright.
But first, I mean, Dark Passage is another team as a European fan you can follow for sure.
Yeah.
Been around for so many years now, and we always say like every Turkish player has at some point been on Dark Passage, and now it's a completely new roster again compared to what they had in the summer split, where only Rogue, the support, is actually staying. Everyone else is completely new, but you might know some of the names like Holy Phoenix.
Yeah.
He's back. Ku is back, obviously. Has been around the Turkish team for a while now. He's been in Europe and back again. Yeah, Ku has been a little bit, like, he's been around everywhere, but he's never really succeeded. Like, he's never really become like a star player that you like recognize too often. And I think that's something that he wants to try and do here on Dark Passage, but it's hard.
He's been trying for a while. I think I casted his very first competitive game. It was back at a LAN in the UK. Cast it with Stress, and I saw him for the first time. It's like, who's this kid? He was like 17, 16 at the time.
He was super hyped.
He was super hyped. He blew everyone out of the water. Cloud9 Eclipse back in the day. So he's been around the block quite a few times. Talking of Dark Passage, you can see them once more, and there's in fact Ku on your screen. The only man's face who is not obstructed by a screen, so there you go. Whippo in the top lane, Ku in the jungle, Immortaru, great name in a mid lane, with Holy Phoenix, aka called Drogo in AD, and their support Rogue, the only remaining member of the previous Dark Passage lineup.
Immortaru is the man to look at though. When you talk to some of the guys from the Turkish league, they highlight him as this like new guy coming in, very strong player, got challenger in EU West, and he's like looking like the guy who can overtake Naru and kind of push him away. Naru's obviously been like the star mid lane for such a long time in Turkey. Immortaru is the man they're all expecting to be one of the best, if not the best mid laner in this 2017 season. Didn't have the greatest game earlier today, but it was one game.
It was one game indeed, and we've seen so many teams. I say so many teams. We've seen big changes, of course, from yesterday. J Team didn't look impressive at all in their first game, in their best of one. And they blew everyone out of the water and still lost. Either way,
I mean,
Team
yeah, they
Liquid,
weren't that impressive.
they were good in their series.
They went from being terrible to okay-ish.
Do you want to call out the lineup, Fisher?
No.
This one's yours. Alright, I'll take it. Lolo in the top lane, Rain over in the jungle, Golden Glue in the mid lane with Piglet and Matt in that AD and support roles. Once again, Liquid. Piglet really wants to play Vayne earlier.
Yeah, that's a no-go when the enemy has Zyra. That is just like one thing that's funny is people were saying it was just like Piglet. He was just like, give me Vayne no matter what. Screw everyone else. But like, no, that's not how it works. In pick and ban on professional teams, there's a coach behind the guys, and there's 4 other teammates, and they tend to talk to each other and say, hey, what about Vayne? And then maybe this other guy says, I don't know about Vayne right here, but then maybe the third guy says, actually I think it could work if we can just do this and this, and then as a team you agree if you want to play Vayne or not. And then you obviously end up locking it in, and that's how it normally works. It's not just one guy, let's not blame him specifically for that one, even though his play in the game wasn't always the greatest.
And it was difficult for him to make it work. He was against a Cassiopeia and also an Ashe as well, so I mean, it was problematic.
Liquid's comp, and I don't see people talk about this, but like Liquid's composition had 3 players who wanted to play side lane. How many side lanes are there in League of Legends, Pulse?
1 in the top lane and 1 in the bottom lane, so that's 2 to Fisher.
Right, that means whoever the third guy is, he's going to sit in the mid lane, and he doesn't want to sit in the mid lane. That was Piglet, and that simply meant like he couldn't really do a whole lot in the mid game, and Giants actually could have executed the mid game way better and beaten Liquid much faster than they actually did. Anyway, new game, new pick and ban phase.
Bans, picks. LeBlanc and Cassiopeia for Team Liquid. And Dark Passage will have Rengar and Syndra taken off the table. So again, 3 mid laner bans. Have seen the trend so far in IEM of like the 5 mid laner bans coming out. So
yeah, LeBlanc is still being 100% banned, but this is one of the first times I see her banned on blue side, which tells me that Liquid are not willing to invest the first pick on a gold blue champion, because this is 3 mid lane bans. Now, we did hype up Immortaru just a few minutes ago and say that he was like one of the rising stars in the Turkish league, but this is 3 bans on blue side against the enemy mid laner. Normally it's red side who has to ban like the OP mids, and blue side can like target ban, but not in this game here, and that means Dark Passage can ban out junglers.
Well, last ban will be Rek'Sai, leaving up Lee Sin as the god tier pick in the jungle. So
I mean, I actually think against Rainover, I don't remember many games where Rainover on a Lee Sin were like the sickest carry in the world. Yeah, Olaf, Rek'Sai, even Rengar, like those are more picks you kind of think of when you say Rainover. So maybe they're challenging Liquid and Rainover to say like, do you even want to play Lee Sin? And the answer is no. And Ku, on the other hand, is a man who will play Lee Sin. He's definitely one of these mechanically gifted EU junglers. Hey, they gambled, and Liquid didn't want the Lee Sin for Rainover. That's interesting.
But Ku very happy to take it, saying to his coach, yeah, I'm just going to lock this one in. It's going to be my pick.
It's like the best jungler in the game. So when that's available, you lock it in. Like it's very simple. You don't first pick Nautilus when the enemy team will just pick Poppy anyway. Because then you like actually give them what I consider the best of their top lane.
It's not like you're gaining priority. Nope. However, Lolo, it's also a flex pick, so Matt could also pick it away. But
see, yes, I agree, but I think it's a terrible flex pick when things like Karma and Zyra are up, because Dark Passage will just pick one of those 2 for the bot lane, and if you then put Nautilus bot lane, you're gonna get smacked. If you put him top lane, the enemy picks Poppy against it, and you just end up trading tank for tank, and you gave the other team 2 priority picks in their first rotation. So this looks a lot like the Liquid pick and ban phase we had earlier today with Nautilus first pick into Olaf.
Yep.
Only difference was they picked Karma instead of Orianna here and waited with some of the other picks, but they're still saving the flex option. Olaf as well, a jungler that is slightly outdated, does not benefit from the new OP Keystone Courage of the Colossus, so he's losing out a little bit compared to other junglers.
Indeed. Ku even brought Vi to the table earlier today. Of course, did not work out for them, but it was interesting to see. He went for a full damage build with Courage of the Colossus. And now Dark Passage, waiting on their next 2 picks. A lot taken away from the mid lane, but that does open up more champions, potentially interesting champions, or potentially Victor.
Yeah. Probably just going to be the standard Victor against Orianna. Not really going to change a whole lot in there. And we talked about Zyra or Karma being a support choice. The reason Dark Passage is valuing Karma here is to remove that option from Liquid, so they can't use the Karma Olaf combo where you speed up the Olaf with the Karma and he runs in your face and he kills you. That's why they are removing it here. And of course Caitlyn being picked, something we haven't seen at all this tournament, but I still think it's a super strong pick because it just dominates the laning phase so hard.
Still up there with the trifecta of AD carries, Caitlyn, Jhin, Ashe, we've been seeing so far. And Team Liquid now on their 2 final picks. Unfortunately, they have left up AD carry, and Piglet is picking, so he may just lock in the Vayne for himself, despite what the team wants. But
against Kate Karma, that's not gonna work. I mean, Jhin is the most likely choice here. I feel like Ezreal's another safe one if you want to have something that kind of sit back and try and farm the lane. But Ezreal does have a strong first few levels. You can try and all in, but Thresh is another champion that is benefiting a lot from the new Keystone, but can struggle against Karma Zyra because you kind of lose the poke war. You can't really all in properly against Karma shields, and it makes it a little bit difficult to play like this lane. So it's a tricky lane for Liquid to play, much like in the first game. Karma Caitlyn to me is such a simple, strong 2v2 lane, and you normally need something like Ashe Zyra to actually deal with it. That was on the table. Liquid could have locked it in, but they decided to go with something different.
Okay, bold prediction time. Is it going to be the Poppy?
It's probably going to be the Poppy.
We might see a carry top playing like the Jace, the Kennen that we've seen so far at IEM on 6.23.
What does Whippo the Hippo got for us? It's going to be Poppy! Or Maokai.
You've got to do the longer...
There it is.
Poppy! You know, just
no, because I wanted to add the Or Maokai.
Because we just come from All-Stars. Didn't you learn anything from Dash and Ebuy?
Yeah, I learned that I can't do it. So I'm not going to try and do it. That's the thing in life, Pulse. Do what you're good at, you know? Don't try and do what you're bad at. It's just a terrible way to live life.
I feel like you should always take those chances, you know? It's just like, if you don't try it, then you never know if you're good or bad at those things. So put yourself out there and see if it works for you.
I actually
Whippo
I just
put himself out there and pick Maokai.
I absolutely hate being bad at stuff. So
yeah, I know.
Whenever I start something, if I'm bad at first, I just hate it, but I try and grind through it, and then if I turn out to be okay at it, I'm like, oh great, now I enjoy it. All right, let's move on. Let's do more with this.
That's such a pro player mentality, and there's so many pro players who say the exact same thing. If I'm bad at it, I'm not gonna play it.
That's how it is. That's how it is. Anyway, let's see what we got with these picks here, Paul Zorino. Once we get into the game, obviously we need to see all the players and play a little bit of fancy music.
Guitar.
Really interesting to see this Liquid bot lane again, kind of gambling with the 2v2 picks and making it a little bit harder for themselves to actually show up and be, the big carry lane for this team, because they need to be the big carry lane. It's not going to be top and mid being star players here.
Here we go, losers best of 3 match set in Group B between Team Liquid and Dark Passage. I think we're getting pretty good at those outros and intros now, Official.
Yeah,
the timing down.
We just need to add an extra line being like, back in a minute, something like that. So it's not like the quick, it's not.
Is that what they do on
stop.
LCK though? I don't think they do that.
I don't actually remember specifically
I don't remember.
when it goes like that. But instead, pick and ban. Didn't really show us anything unique or fancy. It's a lot of the same picks. We have seen a lot of Thresh has actually been pretty good support so far. Been picked very often in this tournament. But overall, I think Dark Passage was just a very, very standard comp where only Caitlyn is the one we haven't seen before. We knew it was going to be a Maokai Poppy top against Nautilus, which again means that the value of first picking Nautilus is very minimal because you get a tank and they get a tank. And they are very, very close to each other in terms of value. Unless Lolo just really feels like he can carry on the Nautilus, I just don't see the reason in first picking it. But obviously Dark Passage gambled with the Lee Sin and said we don't think Rainova's going to play it, and they were right.
I mean, they could pretty much know that. Rainova hasn't really been that decent player as you were talking about in Champion Select, and if he has the chance or the choice, then he will go for Olaf, which he has done in this game.
Slightly outdated Olaf, we have to remember.
Indeed. Yeah, but still seen it quite a lot in this tournament so far, so maybe players will start moving away from that pick in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at like Rainova's numbers. 2016, he didn't play any Lee Sin at all. 2015 on Fnatic, he didn't play any Lee Sin at all either, so obviously not a pick he enjoys.
Olaf, Rengar, Rek'Sai.
Every
Lots
time.
of those picks.
Yeah, most played last 2016 is of course Rek'Sai.
Immortaru and Golden Glue in the mid lane. Golden Glue, not the most impressive performances earlier today on Rise. Again, it was kind of a difficult composition to play into, but did have a very uninteractive game. I think he ended the game like 1-1-1. Didn't really get involved in those fights very much. Immortaru, again, also not a stellar game from him, but we do have a lot of hope.
They got stomped. They got stomped against the best team in this group. That's it. You know, none of them really played well. There's really nothing else we can say there about Dark Passage. So let's just forget that game, honestly, and let's just focus purely on this new game and kind of get a new impression of this team now. Same for Team Liquid in this game here. Like it really is a second chance for everyone, and want to see how these players match up against each other. I think Golden Glue on an Orianna would be more impactful than on a Rise, because Rise is like Rise can be difficult to teamfight with, and you need to be like an aggressive player to really find openings. He's not that aggressive in fights. We saw that he was very passive. Orianna, control mage, you sit back, you find that big shockwave. That's kind of the way you play around it. It's going to be much easier for him to actually have an impact in fights.
Rainova potentially looking for a gank in the bot lane. He is level 4, so the bot lane's level 2. The flash, the flay, the hug goes wide. Holy Phoenix will preemptively flash away from Rainova coming in. The CC spells were already used though.
Well, I really like the sidestep from Holy Phoenix right there. He knows that once Matt has cast a flay, then he will try and just instantly hook in the direction he just flayed Holy Phoenix, and he just takes a quick sidestep to dodge it and then flashes after. Gank mid, Rainova's already used Ghost, and it's just going to do a bit of poke damage on Immortaru. I say a bit, I mean a lot of poke damage.
Very low. There's Matt coming in, lands the Q, the death sentence. Piglet flashing away, has been exhausted. Takes that mantra Q to the face. Matt's still training away with Holy Phoenix, and shield comes up.
And that was quite a mechanical misplay by Matt right there, not landing the hook onto Holy Phoenix. Now Rainova is top lane, more action, baby.
Solo into this top lane. Tank's not doing too much right now, but Whippo is going in and takes Nautilus out in the 1 versus 2. Rainova, however, does have this kill secured, landing the undertow, but got a hand to Whippo, taking the Maokai and destroying Lolo.
Yeah, really interesting that he could actually take down the Nautilus in the 1v1. Lolo had flash as well, didn't use it at a single point in that engage. Really not something you normally see, like that's basically solo kill. Even with the gang on the way, definitely has been a misplay from Lolo on the top side.
That's actually interesting, yeah.
A lot of fighting though early. Rainova's been acting with the ganks. We've seen trading in the bottom lane. Big opening that Matt missed, where Holy Phoenix was actually overextending without any flash.
That's doing it again. He is looking for that death sentence. The ignite lands, and Holy Phoenix very low. This time, it is actually Matt Life coming out here. Rogue throwing out the auto attacks against Piglet, but he's out of mana. He's being chased down, and Matt coming out with the auto attacks. We'll see if he can get Piglet in range. Unfortunately not, but that's the 2v2 solo kill there for the bottom lane.
And what is Holy Phoenix doing? He's playing Caitlyn with insanely long range, with a range support next to him, and he's stepping into the minion wave, ignoring Matt next to him just to start hitting Piglet, and of course he gets CC'd and takes extra damage. Really weird trade, and been some misplays here in the early game for sure. Liquid in the end benefits the most and are sitting with a small goal lead, and more importantly a kill and a massive CS lead in the bottom lane.
Big misplays from a player you wouldn't really expect it from. You know, he was a previous world contender. We saw him very recently in the EU Challenger Series where he was actually performing very well. He was actually the consistent player on that team.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the best AD carry in Turkey for so many years. which is why it's so surprising. Like, he normally likes to play like very strong laning champions. He likes to play 2v2 lane. Rogue is a strong laning support as well. So like, that's kind of one of the things about this new Dark Passage lineup. It's like the Mortar is like that new up and coming great mid laner in the mid lane, and then Holy Phoenix and Rogue is this super strong 2v2 laning bot lane. But then they make a misplay like this, and you get like really surprised because it was like an unforced error.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to take those straight. It wasn't Matt who, like, as you said, like Matt lived him or something. You're like, wow, sick outplay, this is crazy.
Matt live.
Yeah, he Matt lived him.
Top lane. Whippo getting solo killed by Lolo. I don't really understand what's going on up in top lane, because I was going to go on a spiel about how that matchup plays out, because I've played a lot of tanks in the top lane. That's usually not how it works, but I guess it will in this one. Ku was looking for a gank in the bot lane. Holy Phoenix is going to carry on fighting. Usually Maokai doesn't do very well in the early levels. Historically, Nautilus is actually good in like up until the first back because of Riptide. You have so much damage. Then when you get double Durans on Maokai, then you can be like, alright, my Q start hurting. You follow after the Nautilus. If you can break his Titan's Wrath, you keep punching him in the face, and your Q comes up so much versus the Riptide that you have the damage to actually out-trade him. We saw that just as they were trading earlier. Maokai came out slightly ahead. But then Lolo also went back and grabbed double Durans, and then just out-traded Whippo, who I think inefficiently traded multiple times with Arcane Smash, so dropped himself low on mana. But that's very difficult to do unless you're spamming saplings, so I'm not even sure how he ran out of mana. That was the reason why he died, because he just didn't have anything to trade back.
I mean, that's kind of a crazy thing about the first 7 minutes of this game, is that it is technically harder to misplay as much as we have seen some of these players do than actually outplay the other guy. Like, the two tanks have now died to each other in a 1v1. That almost never happens. The Holy Phoenix play in the bottom lane, which was so weird to see as well.
Unforced error was a great way to describe it.
Yeah, completely unforced error. Really crazy start. I know there's been obviously this break for the players as well, so maybe like just getting back in and like refocus is something they need. But Dark Passage has this really like strong setup here. I feel both in the laning phase with the strong bot lane 2v2 and at least in jungle, but also like later on in the game, they can't really force to make these mistakes and start falling behind, because we are expecting obviously Liquid to kind of match what Dark Passage is doing in terms of like individual talent and skill, and then Liquid, even though they have a lot of new players on this roster, most of the players have more experience playing against better competition compared to the guys in Dark Passage.
True statement. Rainover, that is a fast Olaf following after Ku. He'll have to flash over the wall. Rainover taking away this red buff. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Matt lands another Q onto Rogue. Get the follow-up from Flay as well. Piglet jumping around. Lands a bit of damage himself from Holy Phoenix. Not really doing too much right now. It's Whippo who's under attack in the top lane. Vengeful Maelstrom. Waldo over the wall. Gets a staggering blow. Snare. And another dredge line. Ku can't really do anything, and lining up with a nice undertow. Rainover is going in, but he's now under the tower. Oh, with his dying breath. With his dying breath, rather, finds the double kill.
But man, Ku right there, if he just lined that kick up slightly better, he would have hit both the Liquid targets, and he could probably have saved at least his own life. Well played by Rainover though. That man is on fire. He was great earlier today against Giants. He's playing well here in the start of this game. Let's check out the replay. So Rainover has no cooldowns right now. There's no ghost, no ulti. Still dealing a lot of damage. Hits 2 axes, or an axe on 2 members there. Then notice the kick here from Ku. If he actually hits this kick properly in Lolo, he's gonna hit both targets just when they're about to enter the tower. But no, doesn't hit Rainover. And that means Rainover stays alive slightly longer, gets the 1 kill, and finishes Ku as well. So really well played by Rainover right there. Missed opportunity from Dark Passage as well.
Multiple good plays from that jungler. And putting Ku behind on this Lee Sin. That was his priority pick. And he's not really been able to make anything of it so far. Whippo has been reaping in the rewards of all the plays that have been happening. Has all of the team's kills currently. So he's going to be a big Maokai. But relative to Lolo, who is doing pretty well in that lane himself. Back into the mid lane though, talking about Immortal and Golden Glue. It's just been a farm lane because with 2 control mages. So
and that's exactly what Liquid wants. Like, that's the thing for Liquid, is like, if you look at this new roster, Piglet and Rainover are the star players. Those are the guys you're looking at. So basically, when it comes to like playing out the early game and what I expect to see for most of the 2017 spring season is like Liquid wants to have strong 2v2 bot lanes where Piglet can try and get ahead and carry, and a jungler for Rainover where he can be active on the map in the early game and he can then decide where to gank. It doesn't have to be bot lane he's ganking, but the solo laners don't have to do anything unless Rainover is there. Lolo and Golden Blue are supports in that sense, trying to make sure that Rainover and Piglet can be the two biggest carries on this team. So it's going to be a lot about the 2v2 bot lane, how they're laning, and then how active is Rainover and where can he gank. And if his solo laners fall behind on their own because they're trying to be aggressive, they're going to hurt Rainover's chances of actually carrying that early game. So I think what we see now is exactly what Liquid wants. Tank top lane for Lolo, Golden Blue on a control mage just kind of farming in the mid lane, and Rainover going ham on something like an Ola.
The Dark Passage, though, carries, and the components of that team that should really be working out are not doing so hot right now. Immortal, though, is 0-0-0, so we'll have to see more from him later on into the game, but the collapse in the bot lane was not the best thing to see.
And that's again why it's perfect for Liquid how this game is playing out, because this one of the star players in Dark Passage, Immortal, is just going even versus Golden Blue right now against Liquid. And ganking the bot lane from Ku, though. Not gonna be able to do anything. Did get a flash because Matt had to, of course, get out of the snare. But at the same time, Holy Phoenix, the other carry in Dark Passage, is behind in his lane against Piglet. So it's actually perfect for Liquid, equalizing the mid lane and winning carry versus carry on the bottom side.
Who's going to be sticking around? Still looking for this going to happen. He's still saying he has
TP down.
The ult. No flash. Here's a TP in from Bwipo, and a counter TP out from Morlo. Will be late to the party though, but that's an instant kill onto Ku to start it off. Dredgeline lands onto Bwipo around the corner, staggering blow into the CC chain. Nice dodge out of the death sentence, but it's going to be one regardless, I have to feel. Will flash weirdly into a flay. That's a double kill for Team Liquid.
Yeah, normally when you want to set up that dive pulse, you need to have a TP advantage. They didn't have it right here. So Lolo just followed down very easily with his TP, and Matt just completely outplayed Ku right there. Ku went in way too early, didn't have his team around him, got caught by basically everything, and Dark Passage are trying some things, but they are really failing the execution on basically everything in this game. So let's see. So Ku jumps in, Matt just literally has the box already, deals enough damage that Piglet can finish him, and Maokai wasn't even here yet by the time Ku jumped in. And then you also see a flash now from Whippo that's
like, where's he realistically gonna go?
Questionable. I mean, he obviously wants to flash over the wall and try and walk out, but yeah.
Not that angle, if you're flashing to the right. Or maybe, I guess he was.
Let's see what else happens in this replay. Actually, let's not see what
Nothing.
else happens in this replay. Mortaro didn't die. Observers maybe thought he did, and
he's good.
Liquid is in a really, really lovely spot. Piglet is sitting on 3 kills, and Rainover is sitting on 3 kills. Liquid fans, get used to this. Be happy when you see this, because Rainover and Piglet can really carry games.
How the team wins. On the sides of Dark Passage, just making some real weird plays in general.
I mean, yeah.
It's always worth mentioning, though, this is a tournament where many of these rosters are very new. A good chance to kind of test these rosters, see what they can do, and with their limited amount of time prepping.
It's just mainly mechanical failures from Dark Passage. Like, this dive here was obviously not the correct move because TP was ready from
both,
Lolo.
right? It was not the right decision and mechanical.
And then there was a mechanical misplay in it. The fight up top lane where Ku doesn't get the kick. He just misses on Lolo, and then they both die. Holy Phoenix again in the laning phase early. So, like, there's been some mechanical misplays right there from Dark Passage, and that's again why they're getting punished. So they're really not showing up with this new roster at all, and I'm sure a lot of the Turkish fans want to see what Dark Passage can do. Like, a lot of fans in that region, very passionate as well. Fun to follow the region because there's all these football clubs coming in as well, really being part of it. Lolo not able to connect the anchor though. Will get a lot of damage on tower.
Nice rotation here from Team Liquid. They took the top tower as that whole trade was happening bot lane, and that looked so good for Team Liquid. Rainover was up there taking a tower as well, so it's even better for them. Whippo, along with Ku. That's not a resonating strike you want to follow up on. And a nice bit of damage onto the mid lane tower there for Team Liquid. Pretty much everything is coming up Team Liquid right now. And they have a gold advantage, tower advantage. Looking towards his dragon now. Matt is securing the vision, and Piglet's coming up from bot lane, so yeah, looks to be the next objective.
Dark Passage only way back in this game is like through just pure team fighting, and normally in order to do that, you need your Victor and your Caitlyn to hit like late game points. Especially Caitlyn needs to hit 3 items. And a Caitlyn who loses lane is so useless because she just doesn't do well in the mid game before she hit that 3 item point. And I think one of the reasons we haven't seen Caitlyn too much in this tournament is just because she can struggle to kill tanks until she gets that massive point in the late game where she has like 5-6 items. Who is getting caught out, has to jump over the wall. But if you think about Caitlyn, she doesn't have an attack speed steroid. And some of these ADCs need that to take down tanks fast enough. And because you have that weak mid game where a lot of fights are happening, people are saying like, you know what, she's too weak. There's other AD carries who does the job better.
Well, there's the point and click and the other point and click. Very easy kill onto a Mortaru in the mid lane. Ku also rotating in there. He's got an Angry Viking in behind him. What was that damage out from the dissonance? Golden Glue deletes the jungler. Holy Phoenix trying his best to hold this 2v2 in the bot lane, but Piglet is going in on them. 2-0 against Team Liquid. Mid tower goes down. Oh no.
Ooh, Ghost into the bottom lane. Double Ghost being popped by the guys. They're coming.
Well, my condolences to Holy Phoenix's family. Rogue's gonna just try his best underneath the tower, but Holy Phoenix is dead. Rogue gonna be pulled in with the Dredge line. Another 2 kills in the bot lane, and the tower on top of that. This is quickly getting out of control. 8,000 gold advantage at 16 minutes.
It looks a lot like the game earlier today between Kongdo Monsters and Dark Passage. That game ended in 22 minutes. Liquid will have to hurry up if they want to match that win time. And this is obviously just a very simple dive. After killing the mid lane, they walk down bottom side, and there is nothing Dark Passage bot lane can do. We've all been there in solo queue, and now they died again.
Oh,
actually, no, they killed them. What?
Hey! Perfect. Hope we get a replay of that, because as we CSI the crime scene...
I guess Liquid was staying and finishing tower, and then they got...
So, but they have 5 members there, so I don't know why that would be the case.
No, I mean, Liquid had 2 guys staying. The bot lane
yeah.
stayed to finish tower.
Okay, we
Is
get a
going to
replay.
be my guess. Okay, so they just finished tower. They jump in. Oh, she said nice TP. That's actually really well played. Good punish. Very important to get a kill on Victor.
And Ezreal too. Yeah. Ku comes in there for the cleanup. So pretty nice. Just caught them on the recalls. Stayed a little bit too long.
Oh, now Golden Glow is coming for the flank here. TP as well.
This could be quite bad for Dark Passage. They grab Ku in the shockwave. Golden Glue still coming down. There's a lot of damage out from Bwipo. Rainover's coming in onto Mortaru. Goodbye to the mid lane. The Machine's Herald is down. Lolo moving on to Bwipo. Lands a staggering blow. Misses the Dredge line, but doesn't really matter. They have a second hook. Matt finds him. And that'll be 3 more kills to Team Liquid.
Revenge.
And to add insult to injury, Dark Passage didn't even take the tower.
No, they didn't get the tower. They're trying to get the top lane tower, but Piglet is up here defending, and he should be able to hold on his own because he's fed as... He's just fed. I'm not going to say the rest.
Okay. I'm sure you could have added a plethora of words in there, Difficio. Your vocabulary has expanded recently. Oh, Piglet, there's 1 versus 2. Takes out Holy Phoenix. Moving on to Rogue now as well. Actually having a hard time with those minions, but Matt wants blood. Throws out the lantern. Rogue, does he have a mantra Q in there? No, he does not. Piglet with the double kill. Nice 2-0.
He was fed. Pretty damn fed, Pulse. And really well played by Piglet here. Dark Passage once again just simply losing out when it comes to individual skill in this match, and that's why it's 16-4 now. Liquid able to snowball this game. Looks like a very, very easy game 1 victory for them, and 1 more game then potentially for Liquid, and then they can take on Giants in what should be an extremely exciting decider match, honestly, between EU and NA. But Dark Passage, we'll have to see if there's anything they can do. Won't probably be in this game, but in the next game. 2 games they've played so far, and they're falling behind very early, very quickly, and they've fallen behind a lot of gold.
That's the important thing. This is a best of series, so they have another game to go and to think about their mistakes in this game and then move forwards with that in the best of ones earlier. Of course, you can't do that. You don't have any time to make that adaptation. This game is absolute nonsense, mate. Nothing that they can really do to pull this one back, unless Team Liquid make a horrific mistake. But jungler's fed, AD carries fed. Win conditions are right there. Golden Glue, he's had a great game as well. Yeah,
I mean, he's now getting his kills, sitting in their mid lane, and the rest of the team obviously being super fed around him. Rainover is behind enemy lines with Matt.
And everyone is resonating strike. Moving on to Matt, but Holy Phoenix is being run down. He'll be dead, and Ku completely eliminated from the fight. Triple kill over to Team Liquid. Whippo and Immortaru heading to their tower. But Team Liquid are just so fast when it gets to these fights, and they kill people so quickly.
22 minutes. That's the time they're looking to beat. Reynor wants more kills.
Moving on to Immortaru. Piglet coming in there as well. Whippo still very tanky, so we won't be able to kill him just now. And Immortaru does escape with his life. Has to burn the ghost.
And Liquid needs towers if they want to finish this game quickly. This is another tower going down mid. They need to get into the base. I believe Congo Monsters picked up a very early Baron and used that to push all the way to victory. Sadly, with only 2 minutes left on the clock in the speed race, Liquid are slowing down. It doesn't seem like they agree with us. This is a race. 22 minutes.
And we're looking at it like a speed run. Any percent, I guess, in this case, because there has been 4 kills over to DP, so it's not going to be a perfect run. But hitting on those objectives is very important. You haven't looked towards the Baron just yet. No control wards on top of it. I would like to see Team Liquid just go for a fast Baron. Very much could do at this stage, being over 10,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, you want to know one of the easiest jobs in the world, Pulse?
What's that?
Shot calling when you are almost 15,000 gold ahead.
Because every call is the right call.
Every single call, except for let's go AFK in our base, is the correct call.
Because even if you're 3v5, you probably win anyway.
Yeah, most likely. And this, like, calling a fight here is pretty good.
Lolo, flash, Riptide, massive ultimate from Golden Glue finds 2. There's the 3rd kill and the 4th onto Whippo. It will take a little bit longer to chop down the tree, but Ku, the only member able to slither out of that fight. 4 for 0. Team Liquid could get a lot of this.
Oh, redemption hype.
Great item.
Insane healing coming down. So that's the base open now. Tower going down, and it will go down. Sadly, not enough time, I believe, for Liquid to actually finish the game. They might try, though, because they got minions
They're
here.
posturing for it.
Oh, remember, guys, 22 minutes. I don't remember the exact seconds.
Speedrun hype.
Oh, let's see. No. They're realizing. They want to go
Baron.
for it.
Just go back to base. What are we looking for? Yeah, going back to base. Team Liquid, they had the world record in their sights.
Would have been very risky. I don't think they could have done it.
No, it's worth it though, I think. I mean, like, when you're 19 kills over your opponent, I just say, screw it. Why not go for it?
I love this. Big, fat tank. Gets the ball on him, and then nice shockwave. The 2 best targets you could hit as well. You're basically getting Caitlyn and Victor. Literally could not have been any better in that fight. Easy peasy here for Team Liquid.
Whippo's a great name. Just feels great to say.
I wish it was Hippo.
Hippo. There was a player called Hippo.
Of course, yeah, he lost his starting spot.
Yeah,
Well, he was
he's gone
competing
now.
against Rogue for the top lane spot with Congo Monsters.
Rest in peace, Hippo. Maybe he'll get good and come back, because he has a fantastic name.
You know what the problem is? No one is called Moose.
Moose?
Moose is such a good name. I wish if I could change my name, it would be to Moose on the Loose.
Moose on the Loose.
Such a good name!
I could absolutely see that.
I'm here with
Do you
Moose
look
on the
like a
Loose.
Moose on the Loose.
Come on, it's such a good name.
Martin, Moose on the Loose. London.
There you go, you know, see?
It rolls off the tongue.
Maybe I should rebrand.
Maybe you should. You go for your pro career, the comeback, Moose on the Loose. Ready to go.
It's a better name than Sifa, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Oh, this is the Hippo flank hype.
Let's go, Whippo! Yeah, he's into the back lines. He's got the ultimate running, and Ku, he wants to try and help his Whippo in need, but he's going to be flashing out. Doesn't get his ultimate off. What a disaster. Holy Phoenix kiting away, tagged by the undertow. Hooks go everywhere, but one lands onto Holy Phoenix. That secures his demise. And Immortaru heading back to his own base. And Team Liquid running all over Dark Passage. They kill the inhibitor, and it's only a matter of time before they finish off the Nexus.
Oh, all the hooks, man. The hook combo from Team Liquid. Let's see, they got super minions coming mid lane. Going for the towers.
Lolo actually just not taking any damage from these towers whatsoever. Cool with the fake out. Oh, there's a quick sombrero to finish off the game, but the double Nexus towers fall. They probably could have pulled the Cloud9 and knocked them at the same time, but either way, 24 minutes onto the clock. It's not a speed run, but Team Liquid make very short work of Dark Passage in game 1 and take the win.
Yeah, this game very early on went heavily in favor of Team Liquid when we saw some of the mistakes in the early game from Dark Passage. Rainover once again going crazy on the Olaf in the jungle, and of course Piglet picking up all the kills in the bottom lane. Zero issues playing against Caitlyn Karma, honestly. Not champions, but the players, it seems to be. In this case here, Dark Passage, they gotta find something special if they wanna bring it back in this game. Because in order for them to make it out of this group, they gotta now 2-0 Liquid, and then they gotta play Giants later and beat them as well. And it looks almost impossible right now.
Almost impossible. Victory to Team Liquid. It's got a cool stat. Ku did less damage than the enemy support that game.
I mean, not really surprising.
200 damage.
I feel like yeah. Not sure why he couldn't even deal any damage in this game because the team was just so far behind. And I really don't know what they can do to win this.